better than a long week.
I know you guys all have deadlines, so I guess if they roll in, they can just catch up, because we're going to go ahead and get started.
Glide by us. Glide by us.
That's okay, excellent. So the way this is going to work is Chief is going to make a statement, and then we will take some questions. Due to the nature of the things we are here to talk about, there will be some questions you're probably going to ask and we probably cannot answer. So just know that going in. It isn't our desire to not tell you things. It's just some of that information is protected, and until it isn't, we can't talk about it. So Chief Mike Bell, Coweta Police Chief.
Afternoon. My name is Chief Bell with the City of Coweta Police Department, and we're here to talk about some incidents that's been going on within the Coweta Public School District. At this time, the first thing that I want to tell everybody out there, as far as the parents and the children that are out there, we hear you. We understand the problems that you're going through right now, and we understand that there's some stress out there with the parents and the children, and we hear you at the police department. We're here for you. And with that being said, we've done some investigations over the past year. We've had several investigations that were completed at the school, with the school involved, with sexual crimes that were being committed at the schools. And I can guarantee you that my officers that work at the schools have completed these investigations to the most thorough possible that they can possibly do within the state law. These investigations were completed thoroughly, and then they were turned over to the prosecuting attorneys of either the Wagner County, or we turned them over to the tribal AG's office. Right now what we're doing is we're currently going to review some of the past investigations that we've done, just to ensure that we didn't miss anything. These are questions that we need to ask ourselves as a law enforcement agency. Did we complete these reports? Did we complete the investigations? Did we get all the victims and the suspects? And so we're reviewing them just to make sure that that is in fact what we did. On the same token, Jack Thorpe has just, the DA has just released a paper or a statement today where he's doing some initiatives. And on those initiatives, he's going to help us understand what they do on their side when the cases get released to them. And we'll also be able to talk amongst other chiefs, sheriffs, and stuff like that to find out what we could do better on these investigations. Are we doing them correctly? And if not, what can we do to fix that? We believe at this time also that the school that we work with has handed over every case to us. We believe that the process between us and the school is solid. I have total faith in the school system at this time that they have turned over all cases to us. With that being said, every time they turn a case over to us, we have several officers that are trained to work in that area as SROs. And they go out and they do these investigations, and they do what they're supposed to. I know some of the parents were concerned about us questioning children during these investigations. One thing to remember is if you're a victim, we can talk to that child if we need to with a school counselor involved. But if they're a suspect, then that's when we absolutely have to have a parent involved. And that is a very strong policy within my department to make sure that we follow those rules. The last thing I want to talk about is what we're trying to do to rectify this situation. And so what I've done is I've went out to OSPI, I've went out to the tribal investigators, I've went out to the AG for the tribe, and I've also went out to the AG, or the Attorney General, not the Attorney General, but the DA's office here in Wagner County to ask them for assistance. On Friday morning from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Coweta Baptist Church here on State Highway 51, these agencies are going to come into Coweta, and they're going to open up an area inside this church to allow the parents And the children that have been involved in any of these crimes or feel like they weren't heard, or maybe a crime that wasn't reported to us, they're going to come in and help us out. This is just a chance to allow these parents to be heard again, along with the children, by an outside agency. And that may be because maybe they don't have trust in the Coweta Police Department. We want them to understand, we hear that, we understand that, we're okay, we'll bring in an outside agency to help us out in this situation. And like I said, that will be on Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're going to offer these investigative services along with some counselors from Creoke will be here and counselors from the tribe to offer any services that may be provided to those that may be affected by these sexual crimes that have been committed. And at that time, that's all I have to say on any of those subjects. Are there any questions?
Chief, let's go ahead and give the brief update on the current investigation too before we take questions.
Oh, yes. So the current investigations are, we have 3 cases out there that we're working right now. Those cases, one of them I know you guys are curious on that we've been talking about. It should be done by the end of this week. The other 2 are going to take a little longer because we take our time on these cases just to make sure we're doing them correctly. So are there any questions on any cases or anything like that?
So when you said, from the past year, you guys have been getting reports that you guys have been investigating, for total, you guys are investigating 3.
As of now, the rest of them have been closed or turned over, I mean.
Then how many total would you say investigating and turned over from this year?
I don't get into numbers, to be honest with you, because those numbers keep changing all the time, but I could say we're probably looking between 10 and 15 cases that we've worked within the last year.
And all at the middle school?
No, these are throughout the school system itself. Yes. One of the cases that we're working right now, as a matter of fact, is an elementary school.
And what about the other 2 within those 3?
That was the junior high.
So the other 2 are junior high, and the other one was just
An elementary school.
Got it.
Yes, ma'am.
What are your thoughts on some of these concerns or these things that you're investigating? Because these are kids.
Yes, and trust me, I have 2 children myself that are in the school system, so I have a vested interest in making sure that we do the proper things here. My feelings are right now that when you look at the cases that are out there and what's being said on Facebook, all the stuff that's being talked about on Facebook right now, those cases have been touched. We've actually done some investigations on those cases. And so this may be the parents didn't think that they were heard, or maybe something was missed on that. And that's why Friday morning I've decided to bring some other agencies in, just in case we did miss something. Because everybody does make mistakes, and we have to admit that. And I, as a chief, the buck stops with me. If we made a mistake, we're going to figure it out, and we're going to fix it.
You talked about going through some of these cases that you all completed just to go back through and make sure you didn't miss anything. What exactly is it that you're looking for when you say you didn't miss anything?
Well, what I'm concerned about is when I read the Facebook posts out there, it sounds like we may have missed maybe a suspect or a victim that didn't get a chance to tell us their side of the story or tell us their story. And I want to make sure we didn't do that. I want to make sure that didn't happen. And I think by bringing other agencies in, maybe they'll come in and actually sit down and talk to them, and then that will fill maybe some of the gaps that we could have missed in the past.
We've seen some of this stuff happen with Sperry and Stillwater. What are you hoping to how are you hoping to give justice to these kids and their parents in these situations?
Let's put it this way. If there's a sexual crime committed against anybody within our school systems, we believe that justice should be served. In other words, we're going to go out there, we're going to investigate it, we're going to turn it over to the prosecutors. And with Jack Thorpe doing what he just did today, I truly believe that that's going to help us figure out how to get these things into the system better and then get the punishments handed out to the perpetrators a little quicker. Obviously, we need to work on that. And then to make sure that the proper punishment is handed out to those individuals.
When you talk about these 10 to 15 cases involving CPS, are these happening during school hours or just students that happen to be there?
During
That makes
school
sense.
hours.
Okay.
Mhm. Yep, this is stuff that's taking place during school hours and extra activities such as football, soccer, golf, stuff like that.
There is a lot going on social media with these cases. I mean, how has that helped and how has that hurt this situation?
Well, you know, I support the First Amendment. I think it's a great thing. I really, really do. I love it when parents get out there and get involved. But the problem is, we got involved today, and very seldom do I get people come into my department wanting to talk to me about these things. And so I would really appreciate if the parents would at least give us a chance, come talk to us. Let us know these things. Maybe, like I said, we could have missed something, and I feel so bad if we did miss something. And right now, I'm hurt. I gotta admit, I'm feeling the pain of these parents right now. I've got a 4th grader and I've got a 3rd grader in these schools. And my promise to these parents is, if there's something bad happened to your child right now, we're gonna figure this out and we're gonna fix this. Your kids deserve to go to a school where they feel safe and it's a learning environment. There should not be any activity like this going on. But you know as well as I do, kids are gonna do things, and once in a while, you're just not gonna catch them. I'm a parent, I know that.
And can you confirm these cases, or the suspects and victims are all students? There's no employees involved here? Just curious, because not to get into specifics, but no school employees are
No school employees right now are involved in any of these as far as the sexual crimes are committed. These are kid-on-kid crimes.
Talk about the outside agencies, can you just confirm who those are?
OSBI will be here. We will have the Muskogee Nation tribal investigators here also, along, hopefully their AG office will be here. I know Jack Thorpe said he will also be here. We have Cree Oaks coming for counseling, and we also have some tribal counselors that will show up on Friday along with my staff. I will have some of my staff there too.
10 to 15, when it hits the ears, sounds like a lot over the course of a year. And obviously, none of this is normal, but is it, for lack of a better word, normal for any school district to have 10 to 15 cases like this?
It's sad to say, but it is. Anybody that knows anything about junior high kids, number one, and I'm going to say this out loud, this is a hormone thing. When kids are hormones, they're pulling away from their parents, they're becoming their own people. This is also the time that we know that some people transition out and they come out and say that they're gay and stuff like that. We know this is that time that happens. We also know that this is the time when we challenge them with band and football and soccer, and things become very, very challenging in their life. And then you throw all the news in front of them and all the bad stuff and with the AI and stuff like that. Could you grow up at this time as a teenager? It's very, very tough on them right now. And so they're going through these life changes, and it's difficult for them. And so they're finding outs, and sometimes, even though I don't agree with what they're finding, this is what they do. Is it right? No, it's not. But it's our job as parents to figure a way to help them get through this.
And Jack Thorpe, he told me that when he first heard about everything that was going on in the Coweta Elementary School, it was through social media. Is there a reason that there wasn't communication when the investigation was first starting with the district attorney when you guys started all this?
To be honest with you, I'm not sure why he made that statement. I know I've had contact with Jack Thorpe. Him and I talk together quite frequently. Now, as far as when this first came out, when we had the incident at the junior high with the journalists that came out there that morning, yes, I did not contact Jack Thorpe that morning because things were pretty hectic and things moved very, very quickly. But since then, I've had 2 conversations with Jack about this situation.
So regarding those 10 to 15 cases, when you first learned about this, is this something that you relayed to the district attorney's office, or is this something internal?
I see where you're going with that. Okay, so I apologize about that.
No.
What happens there is some of the cases are going to get turned over to Jack, and some of the cases are gonna go tribal. And that's why his initiatives are coming out, because I think what's ended up happening is the ones that go tribal, Jack never gets to hear about those. He didn't know those were happening. But that was the process that was set up at that time. And I really am excited about what Jack came out with today, because I really, really think sitting down at the table as a committee with the tribe and us, everybody's gonna be on the same page. We're gonna be very aware of who's got what cases and where we're at in those cases. And you may also be able to figure out whether the victims and suspects, you may have a non-tribal and a tribal, and now you're sitting down at the table and we can talk about that. We can discuss that.
So before his initiative, there were issues about that, of kind of collaborating with those who work in the tribal offices to the district attorney's office?
You're calling it issues like it was something that we understood and knew, but obviously that was something that we missed. It was something that we were unaware of, and now it's been brought to light. And thanks to these initiatives, I really think it's gonna fix that problem. So as a chief, I will tell you that I apologize about that, but it is something that we've been working on, and thank God we're there.
And when did this kind of collaboration begin with all three of you guys?
So he sent the statement out today, but I've been working with Jack for about the past week trying to figure a way to work this, because a lot of times what happens is, so you have the crime committed, the school catches it, the school reports it, the SRO does the investigation, he completes the investigation, we turn that over to the DA's office or the tribe, whoever it goes to at that time, and then once it gets there, it kind of goes in limbo for a little bit, because we don't know where the case is at. We have to wait for that case to get to a certain process. And then once it gets to that level, then our officers start receiving subpoenas, or they may have to go to court or something on that case. And then that's when we realize where that case is at that moment.
Makes sense, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Really quick, this is a touchy topic for parents and students, so if they aren't up to coming on Friday, is there another way that they can reach out to you or the other agencies?
Well, what I would suggest that they do, if they can't make it on Friday, is to please contact me. Contact me personally. I want these parents to feel like they can contact me personally, and I promise them that I've got 2 parents right now that I've already got meetings scheduled with next week to personally sit down with them. Because again, I feel so obligated to fix this. This is something we need to fix now. And so they need to contact me, just contact my police department. And if they're not comfortable with us, Cree Oaks has already offered their services to come in and help us, and so is the tribe. The AG's office with the tribe and the DA's office, both very supportive of my department, by the way. I've got a great working relationship with both of them, so I promise the parents, one way or another, we will get you the help you deserve and make sure that you're comfortable.
Friday's event, is that the first you've ever done something like that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Because I heard the parents. I was out there that day they were in front of the school superintendents. I sat there and I watched them. I felt their pain. I knew they were upset about what was going on. And I kept thinking, how can we get to this? How can we fix this? How can we get them heard? And then I started making phone calls. And let me tell you about that. When I started making phone calls to OSBI and everybody like that, not one of them said no. Not one of them. They said, you tell me where you want me and what day you need me. And I had 3 churches calling me up, offering their churches.
15 cases is a lot, and we're talking about minors as well, and when it comes to protecting these victims and kind of their identity, which I'm sure gets extremely difficult with social
It does.
media. And I don't want to say rumors, but just when people don't have all the facts, it gets really hard. How are you protecting these young minors who are victims from, these things happening and people kind of talking and protecting their identity?
That is probably one of the most difficult jobs I have today as a chief. And normally what I do on something like that is I get with the parent of that victim and we try to figure out, is there a plan that we could use to help that parent protect that child? And I will tell you right now that a lot of what's going on at the school is built into that. The school system is built at protecting the victims, but the way the law is written, they must also protect the perpetrator. And so it's very, very difficult when you're dealing with juveniles. You guys are all asking for these cases, right? I know you are, because it's sitting on my desk right now. And you want these cases handed out to you. I can't just turn them over to you without reviewing those cases to make sure the names and the people that are innocent are taken out of those. So we do have incidences that I'm concerned about, by the way. I've been watching Facebook. There's a couple players out there on the Facebook page that have made me nervous because they're actually taking pictures of things they shouldn't be, license plates, they're following people around town, and I'm not okay with that. That upsets me too, because now I've got another problem that I need to deal with. I've got several parents that are really nervous about who showed up at the meetings the other day. So,
And
did
are
that
those-
answer your question?
Yeah, and are those suspects and victims, since it is kid on kid, are they separated? I mean, have some kids been removed from?
Yes, okay, I probably should have said that. So on the cases that we're involved in right now, the kids have been removed from the school system. But again, the way the laws are written, you can only keep the child out of the school for so long unless it's a major crime. And none of these have reached the major crime level yet. So, but the children will be removed, they'll do homeschooling, or they'll do virtual schooling is what they do. And I don't want to get too much into that because that's actually a school thing more than it is me. But yes, the children do get removed, and they do have to go do other things until we get this figured out in the school.
So I guess just to wrap up, what's next? What's in the standing investigations?
Well, I got to be honest with you right now. My standing investigations are, we're going to review them, make sure we got everything. I want to see a turnout on Friday, okay? If they've turned out for the superintendent's building with the individual that was here helping them out, they need to turn out for this and talk to us so that we can help them. But at the end of the day, the only thing I want to make clear here is you have my promise as the chief that we're going to fix whatever issues may be out there. And I promise you that your children are very, very important to me, just as mine are. And I don't want my children getting hurt, and I understand you don't want yours getting hurt. So one way or another, we are going to look at this. We're going to figure out what we're doing wrong. If policies need to be changed, I'm going to change policies. If the SROs need to be changed, I would change them. We change our SROs out every 3 years, and we do that for a reason.
And just to confirm, the 10 to 15 cases, those are closed investigations, and then the 3 that you were talking about are open investigations,
Yes, ma'am.
correct?
Mhm.
Got it, just to make sure.
The 3 are part of the 10 to 15.
The 3 are part of the 10
Yes,
to 15?
yeah.
Okay.
And that's strictly middle and elementary school.
It's school, well, these 3 that
These
we were
3?
talking about, yes,
And then the additional one is just the whole entire district?
right.
Okay.
You want to also talk about setup at the church from the standpoint of protecting victims.
So just so everybody understands, I'm gonna set up a strict rules at the church when we offer it to these parents and the children. No press will be allowed inside the building whatsoever, and that's to protect the children so that they feel safe when they go in there, they can talk to these people. It's already, to me, the hardest part about this right now, and this just tears me up, is that we've got to re-victimize the victims. I've got to pull them back in, and they've got to go back through what they've already told somebody about. And I think that's hard enough on them. So in order to make them feel safe inside the church, I don't want uniforms around as much as possible. Everybody I'm bringing in is already told me that they're going to come in not in uniform so that they can talk to these kids, make them feel comfortable inside the church. We will allow you to be out in the parking lot all you want to, but we ask at this time that if you are out in the parking lot and the parents tell you they don't want to talk to you, please leave them alone. Just leave them alone. This is a time for them to heal. This is a time for us to work together as a community. And so I just ask for your cooperation on this. And I will be very strict on the church rule. Nobody's going to be getting inside that church except for the parents and the students.
When we say parents and students, we mean what parents and students?
The parents and students that go to Coweta Public Schools and feel like there's been a crime either committed against them or they haven't been heard of a crime that has been investigated in the past. I am not going to turn any parent or child away, by the way. If they come up there and they want to talk to somebody, we're going to let them in that church to talk to somebody.
And we'll have private rooms for those interviews to happen.
Yes. Yeah, the church is set up. There will be a waiting room kind of separate off it by itself where the cameras, if you're outside the building, you won't be able to look into the building to see them. And then we're also going to have some office spaces around into a hallway to where they can get privacy back there. There's just no way you guys are going to be able to see inside the building. I've made sure of everything that I can possibly do to protect these kids. So lastly, just thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate this more than anything in the world. You have no idea what this means that you guys came out here and gave us a chance to talk about this. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes.
We appreciate you giving us the time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thanks,
Yes,
Chief.
my hands are
Yeah,
cold.
no
I'm sorry.
worries.
It's a cold day.
It's very cold outside.
Send out to the news desk the location
Okay.
of that, reporting opportunity, just so that if you need to share that with people, you can.
Thank you.
This is that court statement.